Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And
let's play a game together. All right, here we go.
So, we're going to see how this auction goes. I'm so glad they explained those chairs on that TV. That makes way more sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Oh, God, that's so good. And again, I appreciate that this game, like, that the visuals actually interact effectively with what they say, and that just makes me so happy.
Yes. Oh, I'm just too nervous. I think I'm going to go browse the games again, see if there's any I missed. It's so dark down here, I could swear I didn't see them all.
Poor thing, she's anxious. And how about you, Liz? Want to watch the auction with me, or go help Naomi search the arcade? I'm fine either way. Did you guys coordinate the list you wanted to do, I hope?
I mean, that's what he said, so I'm assuming?
I hope so. Alright, ultimately, you're only here to help us lug our purchases out the door, so do whatever you like. That's the whole waiting game.
Yep.
I'd like to go explore the house, but I don't think Liz wants to. Thanks. I think, well, I already spent some time with Naomi, and I kind of got a picture of her. We'll hang out with Gavin.
All right.
I think Liz would be curious and going, she can't use a hand looking at things in the dark necessarily.
Yeah.
And, I think I'll help you let me paddle around is kind of cute.
Sure.
But also just going, I've never seen an auction, maybe? Let's learn.
Yeah, let's learn.
If
Gavin?
I did come along to learn, gonna learn. Gavin, I'll help if you let me wave that paddle around. Auctioneering sounds fun. Do I get to wave our bidden paddle around? Hamza's auctions are usually a shout-out-loud affair rather than discreetly signaling, but I admire your enthusiasm. I settle next to Gavin on one of the rickety old folding chairs. Not quite as posh as the banquet spread above, but hey, it's business time, not indulgence time.
It's business time.
It's business time!
Which is a really fun, song from Flight of the Conchords. It's amusing.
Naomi sent me a list of games she wants me to bid on. We argued it a bit, and I managed to bring her down to 3 must-haves, and the rest would-be-nices.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Needless to say, if the would-be-nices start bidding up, I won't be bothered.
Do we have the storage space for the would-be-nices?
Well, technically, yes.
It's just expensive. What about the cash?
Like I said, only if they don't get driven through the roof.
Then, maybe keep an open mind, right? Don't forget to see the forest for the trees while looking at the bigger picture of something.
Right. As Francine says, I know. But there are certain hard realities in play.
If we don't have the money, we can't do it, but we also don't know what our budget is.
Which is actually what I was going to be like, Gavin, dude, tell us what's going on. But also at the same time, too, that is actually a level of entitlement that you have as a player or / player character of going, you should tell us. And it's perfectly reasonable, actually, and I imagine in some circles for some people to be like, I'm not going to bring you in because this would completely overwhelm you.
Or
but
just
sometimes,
you're just a floor attendant. You're not involved in budget.
But sometimes I have been that person who brings up something really fucking obvious, and I have actually gotten in trouble with other people because they didn't want me to actually let other people know what was going on. And I have talked about the story before, but it really is important sometimes to actually let people know what the hell is going on.
Sometimes people are really afraid, and I've seen it a lot in I want to say high-powered adults as I've gotten more into my adult life. People who are in more important jobs and things of going, well, we can't let people know what's going on. People will panic. I'm like, your people, are you panicking?
Right?
And that kind of thing. And going, well, no, but other people would panic. People just won't care about it as much. I'm like, you have to be a little bit thoughtful about how you present it.
Well,
and
duh, yeah.
I was going to say, but like, it's like people aren't stupid. They're not this animal out there. You are people. All right? So, like, all these things, sometimes I just get so frustrated with the idea of of governments and cover-ups in general. I'm like, the cover-up's not helping anyone. You sound like a little kid that's lying. That is what it sounds like to me when big fancy people go, well, we couldn't tell anyone because of reasons. I'm like, you sound like a little kid. Things didn't go the way you wanted, so you lied about it. As far as I know, that's one of the first basic things you learn. Don't freaking lie.
Right. And also, stop with the sensationalism, because part of the problem is actually the people who take that information and sensationalize it. If you can present
If you stop paying people for sensationalism, they'll stop doing it.
Like, no shit. Whoa.
Anyway.
It has begun.
Look
Yes.
at that. Bah!
It has begun so hard that you got a bold font.
Yes. I half expect mid-90s techno to start blasting as his slideshow begins, but nope, just pretty photos of old games.
Behold.
Aye, look at these beautiful games. They could be yours. All yours. Also, I love the microphone, Fritz. Right there. That was great.
It was amazing.
But before we dive right in, I'd like a moment of recognition for Donna Michaels, whose spirit inhabits these halls. We who are about to rescue her games do so out of respect for her and her passions. May her soul be at peace with her beloved arcade in good hands.
I thought he didn't believe in that tall tale, or is he just being theatrical because this is the way of Hamza? The way of Hamza.
Now then, shall we commence the auction, friends?
I settle in and wait for Gavin to take an interest in the games on bid. Alright, do we get to see any of them?
I think we do. Our next item up for bid.
Oh, hey, I recognize this. It's a joust, TM. Just like the one I moved out to the floor 2 weeks ago. Gavin frowns at his tablet, confused. Why is this on Naomi's must-have list? We already own one of these.
The bidding opens at a pittance, a mere $50.
I told you in Who Killed My Father Academy, their bidding was not high enough. Alright, so $50 it is. Gavin shakes his head, ready to let this slide by. Is our budget that bad? 2 units side by side would make a good tournament. Can they interact?
Whoa! Why would you not discuss your choices?
Yeah, we haggled on them, but we didn't discuss why. I said, these are must-haves, and you went, yeah, all right, but you didn't
talk about why.
And you even
said that we're going to talk about your choices. Let's see if they line up.
And we talked about them, but we didn't talk about why.
Gavin,
what is this?
Are you okay, honey?
Okay, that's on your must-have. Well, I guess it's a popular game, and then going, hang on, we already own this, and you didn't think of that at the time? You are not perfectly organized. Not that you need to be, but, that's a little wild, bro. All right, she might want it for replacement parts. Skipping this one lets us be riskier later, right? I mean, are we supposed to be giving him advice? Because I assumed he was doing this on his own.
Oh, no, we're giving him advice, honey.
Also, 2 units side by side would make a good tournament if they can interact. Otherwise, it doesn't. So, she might want it for a replacement cabinet, though, because she might, even if she loves games, see that 2 units could make one perfect game where neither of them could be successful on their own.
Mm-hmm.
I think... I don't know what Liza would... I think Liza's going to kind of go what would be, more playful here, I guess, or just, more, I don't know, somewhere.
Also, if you're trying to drag people into the arcade and trying to get people to play, there's also, I was even going 2 units side by side would make a good tournament.
That's where I was headed, too. Liza's trying to think of what would make it fun. Because if you're trying to balance passion and work, which is what everyone's been pushing, and Liza seems like the type that tries to take advice.
Right.
Of going, if that kind of balances them, of going, well, it would be good for business because it could pull people in, and it'd be good for the spirit of things because it'd be fun.
Right.
So 2 units side by side would make a good tournament.
All right, let's finally our first angry star.
Hang on. It's a popular enough game, right? It's not a dog, but it's hardly a top earner. Maybe she's thinking we should run a tournament with them. 2 players going head-to-head, competing for score. I usually avoid hosting events like that at the arcade. More trouble than they're worth.
You usually avoid, but doesn't mean you completely also avoid them, and also that doesn't mean that they're always a ton of trouble.
Also, more trouble than they're worth doesn't mean that you're necessarily running. It means that you may not be running them well, and it also might be that you're weighing, how much trouble they are, going, I don't like kids.
Which I found to be really interesting, of going, again, I don't understand this game's
I know
bent.
there's a lot of adults. There's
Yes.
a lot of adults in the arcade and gaming business, but there's also a lot of young people who are going to become adults, but aren't yet. Your 16-year-olds are still kids,
Yeah, no shit.
Anyway, so hosting events, events keep things running. As far as we know, with channels and stuff, even doing what we're doing, the fact that we've never held events is part of why we're as small as we are.
Yeah.
Because we're just not, they're just not worth it. I'm like, that's an opinion.
So if you want to contribute to our fund of actually upgrading our hardware so we can do more of them, particularly on Twitch or anything like that, that would be super awesome.
Here's a plug for if we get more money, we can do more things. Anyway, more trouble than they're worth.
Doubtful.
Let's see where the bidding goes. Various bidders. $100. I bid $250. I'll have it for $400.
Whoa.
$1,000 to complete my Midway collection. Nope, not worth it. Before I can object, it's over.
Sold.
Sold! May your collection be perfected by this piece.
And she argued for why she wanted it, which he goes for that human element.
Right. Seems like...
once he hears a bid like he likes, it's all over. No going once, going twice, anything.
Our next item for auction is this rather unique piece.
And egads, is that one ugly football game. It looks like the side-out stickers weren't even put on straight. The white paint is totally uneven. The marquee's been broken. The monitor has a big ol' as-is note. The joysticks are 4 different clashing colors and...
Do I hear $50? $40?
Wait. I nudged Gavin, whispering, put a bid on it.
Pardon?
Oh, why? It's positively grotesque. I recognize the shape and the joystick colors. That's not a football game. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, TM. Naomi told me earlier that we needed one of those. I thought they only had the crappy 2-player one, but that's definitely a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle at heart. It's a cheaply done conversion. No doubt some fool thought he'd get more profits off a sport game and lazily chopped it up. It'd need restoration work, granted, but, slowly he stands up.
I suppose.
I suppose I'd be willing to take it for $40. Maybe we can salvage the monitor.
Good, good. All games deserve a home, even the ugly ducklings. Are there any other bids? No? Not a one? Very well.
Sold.
Sold to Gavin Cooper of the Funplex.
Thank you. After Gavin sits down, I could swear I spotted Hamza wink at me. He thought you would know, yep. Does he know we just conned him, and is he okay with that?
Impressive.
You know, Liz, you're more knowledgeable about old arcade games than I thought you'd be. But I haven't thought about you much at all, as far as we can tell. Oh, well, my parents took me to arcades all the time, back when I was a kid. I had a few favorites, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TM, Q*bert, TM, and, Whoosh.
A particular game.
That was our favorite. And those were good times. Better times. I want to learn what your favorite game was.
Boo.
Well, I suppose we can relive those good times a little once Naomi restores that game. During your breaks and after work, please. Yes, sir. I realize my demeanor is one of seriousness, but it's not like I'm anti-fun. I enjoy a pinball game or two, for that matter. I thought that was more for the challenge, though. Order to chaos, developing mastery over the game, secret nerd at heart, and so on. Which is fun for me. Fun is a highly variable concept from
we
person to
actually
person.
have this. So we actually know someone. So both of us are very story-oriented, and we like a lot of character-driven games.
Oh
we
my
love
God.
character-driven plot. Now, we both actually have somebody that we know. My friend knows them a little bit better. But he is absolutely a numbers gamer.
It's true.
Period. He loves strategy, and he loves math.
And
like,
the numbers.
damn, and the numbers. Like, he is so interested in shit like that. And it's so cool.
And
because it is a perspective I never had.
And he has the most fun with it. And recently, one of my other good friends was talking to me about actually D&D and structured role-playing games, and was like, and I was like, but how do you make this thing work? How do you make that thing work? And he's like, you're thinking about everything from a character perspective. You can add someone to the party at any time if the players are fine with it. And I'm like, but how does that work? Because what if the characters aren't? He's like, most people don't play characters like you play. They play numbers on a sheet and run them against obstacles until they figure them out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that's no fun for me. And he's like, and that's okay.
Right?
Anyway, a highly variable concept from person to person. For example, undoubtedly Naomi is going to have considerable fun restoring that TM back to its former glory, precisely because it is so mutilated. The Funplex provides fun in any form the visitor requires. That's my endgame, the goal I reach for. The tricky part I've found is balancing conflicting fun, ensuring as many dreams are realized as possible, despite reality being rather harsh about it all. We'll need to watch our budget today if we're going to optimize that fun. Do you understand? I guess being optimal is fun for you.
Honestly, sometimes I really get into strategy. Do not get me wrong. Sometimes being optimal is the most fun. Sometimes also just going ham in and wrecking everything is also fun.
So the reason I like randomized match 3 games is actually for strategy.
Yes.
Like, there are a lot of strategies that go into ridiculous, I want to say, casual gaming match 3s.
Yes.
And I enjoy them a lot. And they're specific to some degree to each one of them. Like, there are some overarching things, but whether you're playing like Lily's Garden or Matchington Manor or Bejeweled or whatever it is, you know, your even the big one, Gardenscapes and what have you, there's a bunch of techniques to use based on how they run events, when they give power-ups, when they do free lives, how levels are set up, what the objectives are, to make them work the best, which is why I wreck them.
Right.
All right. Being optimal is fun for you. I suppose it is at that.
Revel in the splendor.
Next, a rare find indeed. What would surely be the jewel of any collector's treasure trove, provided they are discerning collectors who appreciate such splendors.
I loved the actors just being like, revel in the splendor.
Yes.
They sounded like they were having so much fun. And the next game is a black and white driving game from 1970X.
I give you Death Race, TM. Inspired by the movie of the same name and decorated with skulls, it sparked controversy nationwide.
Death Race
Seriously?
was such a horrible movie. Oh my god.
Oh, God.
My dad was into everything like sci-fi dystopian when I was a kid, and so I watched all kinds of movies. He's like, I saw this when I was a kid, now you need to see it, or whatever it was. And I was
Oh
just
my
like,
god.
oh god.
So much old school sci-fi though is so like white colonialist narrative bullshit. I'm sorry, like
Anyway.
I love sci-fi, but sci-fi has so many problems.
I saw Death Race.
Hi.
That relic is seriously on Naomi's must-have list? Absolutely not. You really didn't know what you were agreeing to. What did you discuss when you discussed
I
your
know.
lists?
I'm like, Gavin, that seems weirdly unlike you.
I made a whole bunch, and maybe they're showing that he really isn't what he comes off to be. Sort of like you pointed out earlier, of like,
Yeah.
he could just be playing what he is, and so he doesn't do it completely. He isn't really good at it. He isn't, flawless at it.
Right.
All right. Not only is it an ancient artifact of a bygone age, I'd rather not have angry parents mad at little Timmy ran over people in a video game. Well, then you are not going to be playing Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, come on.
They're gremlins, not humans. They're a very blurry little white blob of some
Oh, okay.
gremlins.
I thought that was something else. I thought that was basically about going like we're talking about the kids again. I
Oh
get tired
God,
of
no!
bullshit.
It's the things you're running over on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's okay. Doesn't matter. It won't earn, and earning is critical for a small arcade such as ours. What did you discuss when you discussed? I need to know suddenly. So, on a museum of amusements, it's part of a history and it's important to Naomi. We don't have enough money? We've barely bid.
Don't we have enough money?
I was gonna say, why are we interested in this game though? Because again, Naomi's priority hasn't been making the arcade fun. So if he was there trying to create that balance, which is what I assumed he was after when they did their list, haggling together, of her going, this will be so great for me, and him going, but what will it give to the arcade? I assumed they came to a balance in that way, so this feels a little redundant.
This does seem weird. It's okay.
All right. I don't really want to argue for this game, but I guess Liz wants to, so,
Which seems weird. But okay.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a difficult one.
I am, because I'm like, I don't feel this at all as far as the character's concerned. So, a museum of amusements, it's part of history and important to Naomi. I don't feel like we're feeling super playful, because I don't feel like Liz is feeling super comfortable in this.
I was about to say, the closest one I have, like the don't we have the money is not going to be, I think, something Liza is going to talk about it. Even though it says that's a neutral option,
Yeah.
I'm like, that seems weird.
Mine doesn't seem so. I think this the thing that with the it's part of history and it's important to Naomi, with the you want to make everyone happy, right?
Right, which
Yeah.
is
it's
like
a part
we
of
could.
history and important to Naomi. Okay, so it wouldn't earn, but it's a legendary game, Gavin. Its importance in the lore of arcades is undeniable. More importantly, Naomi wants this game.
Ah.
You told me your dream is to support the dreams of others. Considering we skipped her first game and got a TMNT for pennies on the dollar, I think we can afford to make her dream come true. He's just like, whoa, that face looks devastated and confused. You're right.
I hadn't intended.
I have been letting so many of her wishes slip by during this auction. Perhaps this is the ideal time to make it up to her and obtain a unique treasure. Hamza, the Funplex bids $250. Whoa, why did we start at
Whoa.
$250? Gadzooks! A find like that can't go for a paltry $250. I bid $300.
That's the Pixel Palooza.
Yep, Pixelpalooza. $400.
Consign it $500.
That's fire.
5. We have 5. Do we have any numbers above that?
6.
6 of one, half a dozen of another. Carnation!
Tarnation! That seems like a lot.
No one willing to match?
Also, we're not throwing in
Sold.
anything.
It seems you have won yourself a piece of arcade history, Gavin Cooper. Sold!
Yeah, I know, but I feel like he could do so much better. Like, if he understands I'm gonna be all business savvy and work my magic, and he understands how Hamza works, he could be like, that game is a dream of one of my people. 300, you know?
Yeah, he could have done something
He
like
could
that. Hamza has played that game before, based on
and it
what
ends
everybody else
whenever
says.
Hamza feels like it.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like, you really could do something different, but he's like, basically Gavin seems unwilling to essentially play on, to do anything other than business and money. Like, I won't use emotion.
I mean, we just used emotion to talk to him.
No,
so
but
he's
he doesn't seem like he'll use emotion.
in the way that he's interacting with
In the
other
way,
people,
like,
yeah.
I won't bid with emotion. I won't talk with emotion.
It could be a learning process. You don't know.
It could
like,
be.
again, us being able to talk to him and using emotion and getting basically points towards him for saying something like that is like him going, oh,
We're helping
right.
him come out of his serious shell, it seems a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, there's just this level of going, like, if he knows that's how Hamza works, do they literally, all of them, not understand how Hamza works, even though they kind of described it? And then Hamza took us aside and just explained that he's willing to help the little guy. We really could have just been like, you know, it's for completing my Midway collection. We could have just been like, that is the dream of one of my employees to have and fix on, you know, or one of our, you know, basically of, he could even just say, this is Naomi's dream game, $300. And Gavin, and you know, and then Hamza could be like, done!
I mean, you could make all sorts of arguments about
Anyway,
it.
it's fine.
It's fine.
All right, satisfied, Gavin sits back down and offers me a curt nod of thanks.
I mean,
guess.
again, like him kind of willing to also to go, I'm going to stick my neck out a little bit to try to believe in the dreams of somebody. Like, I think that is...
I
like,
guess
it's him
I'm still-
trying to express basically his love in his own in the way that he can.
I'm still stuck on the money, though, and I get frustrated. And there's been one particular example that you might be familiar with that's been in my life, where when he was trying to prove something, he'd just throw more money at it to show he cared, even when he didn't have that money.
Oh,
and
God,
it's
yeah.
like the caring didn't outweigh the financial strain that was then, you know, caused
Applied
by
to
it.
everybody else? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I feel that Gavin reminds me of that, of going, we don't have much money, we're being really conservative, even $35 sounds like a lot, and then suddenly he's dropping $600 on one game, and it's like, not everything is about ROI, but also he knows theoretically he could have gotten a better deal if he'd have spun it without just money.
Yeah, it's complicated. It's
Anyway.
Interesting though. And again, it can inspire some great debate. So we
can.
would actually love to hear your opinions. So please
Yes.
feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share your opinions with us for sure. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon. We got some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Laz,
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!